Okay, we snap the ruler to the bottom and we go up 1, 2, 3 inches and we make a dot. That's our vanishing point right at 3 inches. And remember to stop the video in between each step, so you would stop the video right now. Then we're going to draw a line from our vanishing point up to the top right hand corner of the paper, right up like that to the top right hand corner, then stop. Now we're going to draw vanishing point to the bottom right corner like that, then we're going to stop. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a number 1 on this line. That's going to be line number 1, and right here this is going to be line number 4. Okay, next line we're going to do is we're going to go all the way up to line 1, and we're going to pull it down just a little bit, and we're going to make another line, and we're going to call this one number 2. So this is going to be line 2. I'm going to put a little 2 right there. Line 1, line 2. Okay, we're going to do a third one, but this one's going to be a little further down. This one's going to end up being the door. So I'm going to go a little further down for this one, and we're going to call this one 3, like that. So now we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And now we're going to make a 5th one, and that's going to be even lower down here. That one's going to end up being the dock, and that's number 5. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 lines. Now we take our ruler, and we are going to snap it to the top like this. Snap it. And what we're going to do is make our first cottage. And our first cottage is going to go from line 2 down to line 4. So 2 to 4. You can look over here on the side and see where those are. 2 to 4. We're going to make a line straight down like that. That's going to be our cottage. Notice it's not from 1. It goes from 2 to 4. And now we have to double that line because this is going to be the space between each cottage. There's going to be a little gap between the cottages, so this will be cottage 1. Then we're going to slide our ruler down a little bit. We're going to do 2 more. 1, 2, and this will be our second cottage. So we have 1 cottage, 2 cottages. Slide it down a little bit more, and we're going to do 2 more lines. Remember, when we do these lines, we go from line 2 to line 4. Just a reminder. So now we have 1, 2, 3. Let's do another cottage. 1, 2 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do 1 last cottage. We're going to do only 1 line because we don't have to put a gap between it. So we only need 1 line right there. You can always go back and watch this again or rewind it if you have to, if you have questions. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put on the front from line 2 to line 4 again, we're going to do X's corner to corner on each cottage from 2 to 4. So wherever our cottages are, we're going to do an X across the front of each one. This is going to help us later on. This will be important later on when we do this. We're going to go corner to corner like this. Corner here, corner there. Okay, continue with doing X's across the front of each one. Just try to get these close. Doesn't have to be perfectly in the corner. We just need to have an X so we can use that later on. Like that. Notice I'm turning my paper sideways. It doesn't matter. You can do it whichever way is easiest for you. There. Now I have X's on the front of all the cottages. So next thing we have to do is find the peak of the roof. So I'm going to snap my ruler to the top like this, and I need to find where the X comes together. So the X comes together right here. See where the 2 parts of the X are? Put your pencil there and go straight up to line 1. The very top line. We haven't done 1 yet. So up to line 1. You can do these in any order. I'm going to just start with the middle one. We're going to go up to line 1. So middle of the X, up to line 1, middle of the X up to line 1, and our last one, middle of the X up to line 1, like that. And then now what we're going to do is the peak of the roof. So the peak of the roof is going to go from line 2 to line 1, and I'll kind of make dots first to show you. So go along line 2 and find the corner of the cottage. So the corners of the cottage are here along line 2. The corners, I'm just going to put dots here. You don't have to do this, but makes it a little easier. I'm going to do dots on the corners of all my buildings of line 2. So across line 2 we have all these dots now. And then we're going to look at line 1 and we're going to put dots where our line touches, and we're going to do connect the dots here in a second. And then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to connect those, and that is going to make the peak of the roof like that. Notice I'm turning my paper sideways, it's just easier for me. Okay, but we're connecting our dots. We're going from line 1 to line 2, and that's going to make those roof peaks. So again, if you want to turn your paper or if you want to keep it the same way like I am doing, either way is going to work just fine. We're going to do the peak of the roof like this. We're almost done with part 1. Almost done. 2 more lines and we're done for part 1. There we go. That is part 1 of our cottages. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit more. I'm going to extend this, and I'm going to add in the doors. Here's how we do the doors. Okay, we're going to extend part 1. I think we can go a little further for part 1. Let's look at this kite shape here. See this kite shape? Find the kite, and then find line 3. So let's see line 3. Go across line 3, and we're going to take our ruler, make sure we're on line 3 here, go across, and then wherever it intersects, line 3 intersects with the kite, this piece here, we're going to go straight down, and this is going to be our doors. Okay, I'll repeat that. Look at line 3, find line 3, find where line 3 intersects with our kite or our X, and we're going to do line straight down from there. Line 3, find it, there it is. Go straight down for the door. Have a couple more. Line 3. Move it over. Gotta make sure I'm going down from line 3. That's why we number them, so we know which lines we're using. Good. Okay, now we're done with part 1. That's a good way to end part 1. Like that. That's great.